Ready?
Yep.
2, 3.
So this morning I was kind of trying to rack my brain remembering exactly which windows we ordered for the north gable because they were kind of an afterthought. So to clear up any doubts in my mind, we looked at our window order and we saw that 2 of the windows were white exterior. And they're all supposed to be black. So we're like, we need to go double check our window order pronto just in case there's a problem. Because I think these windows had an 8 to 10 week lead time. And just knowing our luck, long story short, all the windows are here, and so far they seem to be exactly how we ordered them. Perfect, right? Lesson learned, and we know this, anytime you order something and have materials delivered to your site, check the order over, make sure it's there, so if there's any problems, you could address them immediately. So this morning, what we're wanting to do, just to further double checking our windows, is to go ahead and set the windows where they're supposed to go by their rough opening. Mr. Spider retreated for the morning, but it looks like he's back. Jesse, did we decide who's gonna remove the spider yet?
I think we leave him. He's fine. He'll
Really?
on the outside of the window.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good spider web.
Yep. This is mudroom, right?
Oh, you're right. It's pretty big.
Yeah.
I feel like in a lot of track homes, windows are smaller than the windows we picked, but you don't realize it until they're here in the flesh, and you realize that you're bear hugging this thing.
Well, I mean, you don't have any discretion in what windows your house has. It's all built around selling the house, like what'll sell. But in the bedrooms, they tend to just do super standard sizes, 4030, 3030, whatever. And we had a lot of discretion. We chose to go very vertical with all of our glass. There's not a lot of wall space, but we have a lot of height. So why not have a little extra glass? But they're not cheap windows.
No, they're not. Important question, is this the guest room, the office, or the nursery?
Yes.
Jesse's like, it's the office. On second thought, we're leaving the rest of the windows here. Those 2 double hungs go there, and we haven't installed the trimmers, the sills, and the headers yet, so they're just gonna be in the way. The transoms, we know where those go, that's very obvious. I think more importantly, we just wanted to make sure all windows were accounted for and they're correct, which they appear to be.
I mean, our goal is to get the south and the west side done today.
Yes.
I think that's very doable. So
let's try.
Basically, well, the thing is, these are all gonna go in the man lift. So we're kind of doing double work, but it's helpful to sort your building materials sometimes and like put them where they go to look at them visually.
Yeah.
So we're kind of doing double work, but I don't know, we could probably put all the south gable windows or the south windows over there against that south wall. I don't think they'll be in the way. So maybe, I mean, it's good for the mind. I don't know. Right. There's something about looking at all your windows.
We're gonna load them out the south, so moving them over there isn't really double work.
So this one's a fixed window. This goes on the south side.
Yeah, so these windows, there's 6 of them. No, there's not. We ordered 7 total, and they all look the same, but they're a little bit different. The windows that go in the north gable, those are open casement windows, not stationary, which means they open out. And everything that is a casement and opens out, we paid extra for a retractable screen. Because the windows we have on the upstairs level, why do we do that? We do plan on opening them because they're likely going to be bedroom windows, and you want the ability to open your windows and have that retractable screen. I guess our preference would be that those would have been double hung windows, but they're not because we wanted that size of window. We wanted 2 or 3 of them upstairs in a row, and a double hung window of the same size would not meet egress requirements. If you're looking to put windows in your house, custom windows, and you have discretion on what size and the location, egress is something that you need to consider if you want to be built to code, which we do.
When we laid out the casement windows, we thought forward to cleaning. Part of the reason we wanted double hung windows in some areas was cleanability. They're really tough to access.
Right, in most houses, if you have a window that opens like that, it's a single hung, meaning the top panel is stationary.
Right.
Double hung means they both will flip.
Right.
So in theory, all the windows in our house should be cleanable from the inside.
From the inside.
And we worked that into our plan.
That's not completely true. The south gable windows are fixed picture windows. We're screwed.
Yeah, exactly. We've acknowledged that. Yep.
But the casement windows, where we put casement windows, we tried to have one open left and open right. And then in the living room, we put a stationary window.
In the middle, because opening casements are more expensive, and then the pull-down retractable screen is an extra $200 per window.
Yep. But with the window layout, you could open the right window and reach the center window, or open the left window and reach the center window to clean. So,
and you don't need 3 windows open, 2 is plenty.
Right, so that's the plan with the casements, is for cleaning and air movement and stuff. But we thought ahead to how the heck are you gonna get to this window to clean it?
I mentioned this previously in a video, but initially we wanted Doug fir windows on the interior to match our Doug fir timber frame. But upon further thinking about it and kind of looking at photos for inspiration, I wasn't positive that the Doug fir was going to match the Doug fir of our frame, because they might age at different rates, or we'd put some sort of stain on the window. I don't know. And then I also kind of decided that there is such thing as too much wood in the house, and while we first thought we wanted kind of this rustic timber frame cabin with a lot of wood, we kind of realized we are more modern people and we prefer to have a house that has just a lot of white in it. Hopefully we have enough windows that there will be a lot of natural light in the house, but when in doubt, there's really no such thing as too much light. So we thought, you know what, we want to go, like, we love our timber frame, but aside from that, we kind of want the modern looking house.
We have had a bunch of people tell us on social media to remove the stickers because they're really difficult to remove after the sun has baked them on.
Or that they'd leave like a stain or an outline or something.
Or if the sun really gets to them, they can actually change the color of the glass where
the sticker is.
I can't speak to that, and every window is so different that I don't know. But I will say this: if you're building your own home and you're in an area with building codes, don't remove the stickers, because building codes aren't framing codes, they're building codes, and so they're going to want to see low E windows in a low E area. And the way they do that is by the sticker. So don't remove some stickers from your windows if you're doing your own project. We don't have building codes, so in theory, we could just remove all of our stickers because nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Part of the reason we're wanting to get the south windows done today, I'm not sure about the French doors, that might be their own project, and the west windows, is that this is where the majority of the heat is going to be coming into the house, particularly on the west side. And because of that, we have like the highest form of LE we can get, low E, not LE, which is 360, 366 on all the west and the south windows, but not on the east and the north windows. So that's kind of our theory, is that if we get these low E windows in today, it's actually going to be a lot cooler in here because it's not going to let so much heat in through the window. For those of you that are interested, this is a 4060 window, which means it's 6 feet wide by 4 feet tall. And initially, this is going in the kitchen, kind of like our kitchen dining area. Initially, we thought we might want a glider window.
Which slides left to right.
It slides left and right. That seems more typical in a kitchen. But we also realize that's gonna be extremely hard to clean, and you won't be able to clean it from the inside at all. And we're not gonna have a deck on that side, probably ever. So it means we're gonna have to clean it by ladder, which is pretty tall, or we're gonna have to rent the man lift.
Yep.
We're gonna have to rent the man lift anyways to clean the south gable windows, but I feel like that's something that could be done once a year, once every 5 years. I have no idea how often people clean their windows.
Yep.
But the living level windows, we want to be able to clean them whenever we feel like it. I feel like that's something you could do just to brighten up your home. So what you can do, it's called mulling, or these are mold windows. They're 2 double hung windows that are molded together. And a lot of companies, there's actually no extra cost to do this. This does not, as a unit, doesn't cost any more than the 2 individual windows, which is cool. Like not even $1 extra, I think. So they do all the work for you, it's great. And again, all of these sashes will tilt in so that you can clean the whole window from the inside.
Bingo.
So I think we're really gonna like this.
We are sacrificing a little bit of visibility because of the sashes.
Yeah.
So you have to think about that.
But how much a day do you stand staring out your window? You don't really.
So in true SIP fashion, we're going to be doing this a little bit backwards. So it's going to trip out a lot of people out there who build a conventional stick framed home. I know a bunch of you already have noticed that we have not house wrapped. It's not because we're lazy or stupid. That's just not the right order of events on a SIP house. Because we have not done our electrical, we cannot foam the exterior of the house. Therefore, we cannot house wrap. Because if we house wrap, we can't foam, and if we foam, we can't electrical. There. So what we're going to be doing for the window flashings is kind of a half flashing.
Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
You should build a SIP house if you could pass this one test. Do you
Yep.
find fun in putting on your pants and then your underwear?
Sold, right. So if you see people walking around with their underwear on the outside, they
You
may or
should
may
build
not
a
be
SIP
a
house.
SIP contractor. They'll be really good at it either way. So if they aren't a SIP contractor, you should call them and say, hey, you should come work for me.
Exactly.
Yeah, so what we're doing is kind of a half flashing system. Basically, when you put the window in, a portion of the flashing is done inside the sill, but the majority of the waterproofing is done with the house wrap and making sure there's a tight seal between the house wrap or the water resistant barrier and the window. So we're going to be doing the sill flashing and all of that up about halfway on the window from the inside. The rest of the flashing system we will be doing when we house wrap, and that's after the electrical and after the foaming. So don't freak out if this doesn't look right to you. So normally you'd run the house wrap all the way around the house and your windows would be covered in house wrap, and you would cut a I shape-ish in the window and tuck the house wrap inside, and then staple it and then add your flashings. Well, we don't have a house wrap, so we're going to be adding a layer of house wrap, maybe 2 feet or so up the window, and then cutting the eye, and we'll be just flashing the sill. And then, like I said earlier, we'll do the rest when we actually wrap the house. We have a couple of different products. This is tough for us because we've had some sketchy experience with waterproofing. We found a Grace product, and that, if you know anything about waterproofing, I think should make you feel really comfortable because it's kind of like the Nike of waterproofing. They make a bitumen membrane that we can use for the flashing, but there's a new system out there that is an entire waterproofing system for the whole exterior of the house. It's basically waterproof sheathing, so there's no house wrap. Trippy, right? We're gonna try their sill flashing. We're only going to be using this for the sills, not for the trimmer flashing or the head flashings. And we've never used this stuff before, but it's called zip tape. And it's supposedly stretchy. I've never used it before, but the idea is that you don't have to cut the corners. It's that it stretches.
Oh, cool.
I don't know. And so when we flash the sill, we should be able to pull the corners out around, so you have one continuous non-cut flashing around the bottom of the window. We had talked about leaning the sills out slightly in case water ever were to get behind. It would not have a tendency to run in, but out. We're gonna try to do that a little bit. Remember, water can't go uphill, so it doesn't have to be a lot, it just has to be enough. And we're gonna kind of keep an eye on that as we go around the house. But we're concerned about two things. One, how that's going to affect the trimmer installation, because if the sill is slanted, the trimmers won't want to sit down on the sill properly. And how it will affect our ability to detail the inside of the window with what's called a jamb extension, which is kind of the wood that finishes the look inside the window. If the sill's tilting up, we're worried it just won't work.
If you're wondering, you can purchase jamb extensions from window companies, and they max out at 8 inches. And I think our walls, we're past that, so now we're marrying to building our own jamb extensions.
We'll probably be making our own jamb extensions and doing a lot of other things ourselves because our house is abnormal. But anyway, so that's kind of the idea behind this system. Not that any of our videos are instructional videos, but if you're building a traditional home, don't do it this way. There's a much faster, easier way. All of these window manufacturers and the waterproof product manufacturers require that the window be setting on shims. Even if the sill is dead level, you have to put shims underneath the window. And that is to keep it from setting or resting on the waterproofing. So if water does get in, it's not going to wick through the window frame. So we'll be using shims below all the windows, and that's why your rough opening has to be bigger than the window. Even if everything is dead square and level, and you could just shoehorn a window in there, you still want to have a gap underneath the window for water should it ever get in there. So maybe we can work together on getting one window flashed.
Yeah, Alyssa needs to learn.
And installed, that way we can get it shimmed and caulked and everything, and then, then we can kind of work together on dividing and conquering maybe. So what we want to do is we want this barrier to be 9 inches wider than the window, total width. So it's 3 feet tall already. You don't have to think about that. We're gonna drape it 1 foot below the window and 2 feet up the window. 3 feet, right?
Pretty simple. Okay.
So we just measure the rough opening of the window.
And add 18 inches.
And add 18 inches. I think in the case of this window, we could do all 3 of these windows in one shot because they're all right together. So there's no need to cut 3 separate pieces.
Gotcha. 105 and a half.
Okay, and we'll add 18 to that. So 123 and a half. Okay. Happy?
Yep.
From the corner to here.
Center?
Yep. And think about a straight line.
Cool.
Then this drapes in and we'll get cut.
It's like 1 on each edge.
Yep, 1 in each corner. Pull the trigger.
Don't pull it up.
Nope. Okay. We only are tacking because eventually we'll house wrap underneath of it.
Gotcha.
And then this will get draped over the bottom
Makes
portion
sense.
and then it'll run the waterway. These get folded in.
Cool.
So there, we'll actually run a flashing all the way along the outside right here. And then we'll run a second flashing on the edge here and a third flashing in the middle up the edge. Cut at an angle instead of square to the surface.
Like that?
Yep. Ready? Pull trigger. It's out of staples. Harder than that and hold closer to the hammer. Like where your finger should be on the trigger. That's where you want to hold the hammer tacker. Hit way harder than that.
Better?
Better. Once you stick this stuff, like it's...
Get a miss.
Yeah. You want just pull gently. Honestly, I don't know why you would even, if you could triple flash a window or whatever, like why not? Mm-hmm. This stuff is a minimum of 6 inches up the sill. There's 6 inches. So what's important is that it overlap the outside flashing.
Okay.
So we want to kind of set it where that's going to happen.
Well, that stuff's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like a rubbery.
We should not commit a crime because all they have to do is come to our zip tape to get our fingerprint.
Yep.
Unstick me. Too much.
Late.
Oh, wow, that's really sticky. Oh my gosh. This exfoliated my thumb.
My concern with this stuff is that if you pull a bunch, it's going to bunch up the tension in the tape's going to bunch up the tie back, which you don't want.
So don't stretch it until you have to stretch it.
So yeah, try to apply it as you go instead of like whatever, sticking it a bunch. So in theory, if you detail these corners like this.
It's crazy. What the heck?
I'm worried it's going to pull up on the corner.
Yeah, that's interesting. Huh.
I guess I didn't need to stretch it there. I probably shouldn't have.
That's neat. Thanks, Shelter. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah.
Sweet beans. That's fun.
So this is the only place I really feel like you need this product.
Right.
That's a one-piece continuous flashing.
How about that?
No cuts, no
Sweet.
relief cuts or nothing. Otherwise, I
Bought
don't
it on
see-
Amazon, guys.
It's expensive. It is twice as expensive as the bitumen stuff. So just factor that into your budget. But what's waterproofing worth? So far, I have yet to find a cheap waterproofing product.
Right.
It's always like, how much is that?
Here's the bike cord.
So that window is completely flashed.
Cool.
The idea is that the 6 inches is just so that water, basically it creates a trough and water
Right.
can't climb up. It can't get to this wood, so it can't wick.
So is this done then? We just
This
repeat it
one's-
on these windows.
This one's done, yep.
Okay.
Time to do all 3 and then install a window.
How's that? I can't do much on my side. That's pretty good. This one's sticking out probably 1/4 inch. Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, before we go any further, we should probably open this window and make sure that it goes the right direction. All right, we put the right window
Wow.
in the right place. Hey, what are you doing in there?
That's so awesome. I can feel the breeze. It's amazing. I can already tell you, I feel the sun, the intensity of the sun, way less on the inside of the windows, which makes me feel very optimistic. Nice. Is that satisfying or what?
Very. What's really weird about the Lowy 366 is you can see the sun coming through the window, but you don't feel it. Like, it's really strange.
Guess you can't really tell from here, but I am kind of happy that we don't have permanent screens on our windows like we will with the double hungs in the bedroom. Yeah, it's really hard to tell on camera, but I'm liking this. It's pretty sweet.
I have to say that went pretty doggone good. The only thing is, I think I'm on the wrong side of the windows because it is brutally hot over here. Today or tomorrow is supposed to be a record temperature for us. Awesome. So I need to take a break and I gotta go inside and see these for myself. Hey, could you let me down? Okay. One more on the west wall. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Who knew we would be spending 2 months of our life in a man basket? And that's just this phase. Then there's siding and electrical.
True story. You actually did look on Craigslist to see if there were any available and what they cost, right?
I thought about buying one just because it seems like we married this when we built this house.
We'd have to drive it home on the freeway from like Florida or something.
Cross country in a man basket. That would be sweet.
But we're renting it.
That's how it is.
Point right now, so.
Yep. Well, we're prepping the last 3 windows that we're gonna do tonight, and everything today has gone pretty spectacular. There's definitely some small takeaways. We're definitely gonna lose light pretty quickly though, so I probably won't be able to film too much from here on out. The good news is this is going really well. I feel like the products are doing what they say they'll do. Their installation is going the way we would expect. I'm really glad that we have the hammer tacker, the cap stapler hammer tacker. We also learned a little bit about kind of the order of events with some of these the double hung windows. They put the nail fin, they just include it. They kind of staple it to the top of the window, but the nail fin they include is for the bottom of the window. And we fought and fought and fought to get it on there, only to realize that we could actually install it kind of after the fact, after the window's in, and we can still get the corner gussets and all that done properly. When I did this window the other day, more just kind of to work through the problems and kind of understand the flashing system and all that, I did not finish it. In fact, this window's, I mean, it's crooked as heck in there and whatnot. So this window's not done. I really needed Alyssa's help. We need somebody on the inside running a level and working the shims, and somebody outside helping to adjust the window and stuff. If I'm honest, I'm super intimidated by the big doors, just mostly because of their size and their weight. But that's actually going to be a fairly extensive project. We made an oversight when we did the furring for the SIPs. So this is the furring strip that goes between the rim joist and the SIP panels to fur them out. Well, we forgot to cut them down because the door sill sits in here, and then we're actually going to include an 1 1/8 inch plywood sill on top of the SIP sill. So the SIP sill will go in here, and then the 1 1/8 will actually bear on the OSB, and that'll bring the floor to level, and then the door will get installed there. We did something similar in the front, except it's not as bad. So I need some time to kind of think through that and maybe put a sill in there and kind of mess around with it. But that's really what's got me intimidated. But so far, the windows, I think Alyssa and I got this. Actually, Alyssa's doing such a good job, I think I'll just go get a smoothie.
Why not?
Just kidding.
I support that if one comes back from me.
Right? Give it my Bertha.
Good. Wow, it looks incredible. We're done for the night. I'm really tired. I've been tired all week. It's already past 8. We've barely had one meal today.
That's right, we barely ate one.
So, I think we're gonna quit while we're ahead. We're not gonna finish them tonight. I guess we have 2 more left.
Yeah.
So, we'll be back at it tomorrow.
This feels good.
It does. I think we've done great. I think, like, for once, we didn't run into any problems. Everything's working as it should. Very happy with our progress.
Yeah.
It's very rewarding to see the windows in. I feel like we needed this boost.
Yeah, with 2 of us working, man, I think it's going really smooth. We're a good team, and like it makes the flashing and stuff so much easier. You can't. I don't know how to install a window with one person.
No, it'd be challenging.
I don't know how you could. It's
yeah,
like not even possible.
Yeah.
Let's rest. Let's eat. Let's pet the bugfish.
I did hear Bugaboo meowing, so if you're wondering, he finally made it out of the cabin. I think he enjoyed the fan blowing on his little spotted, striped fur all day long. Oh man, that's carrot zucchini cake.
From the friends that we partied with. And by partying, this is what we mean.
Sugar consumption.
Enjoying
and
their home-baked goods.
Beautiful macaroons. I don't think you guys can see anything on camera.
Lavender macaroons. Oh, yum.
Before I let you guys go, I have to share a few garden wins. There's always a few things every day that seems completely new or worth mentioning at the very least. Look at that little spaghetti squash. And here's our biggest spaghetti squash. Wow, look at that guy. Can you hear that? There's quite a few more in here too. Thing number 2, I watered the cilantro and I got a huge whiff of cilantro in my face. It finally smells like cilantro. That's really, really exciting. I need to research when it's time to harvest your garden salsa peppers. Look at that guy. Oh my god, he's so huge. I think these things are supposed to turn red when they're ripe, but I'm not positive. You know what? The photo shows green, so I bet that sucker's ready to pick and preserve. And then, look how big these tomatillos are getting. They're so beautiful. I love their little papery covering. Our zucchini in the corner of the garden here, I just tossed some dirt, threw down some mulch. It's about to flower. I don't think they've opened yet, or maybe they've already opened, so that means soon, fresh zucchini. I also need to figure out when it's time to harvest beets, because I can see that's a beet right there. I see the tops of them poking out of the soil, so I have a hunch these guys will be ready to pick soon. And last but not least, we have a couple more spaghetti squash SCPs on our solar panels. Look at that guy. And this guy right here. Last thing on the to-do list tonight, cut some kale for the salads.